Hello there, folks. Analog here. Once again, talking about Mass Effect 3. Of course, actually, not really once again. I've actually yet to really make a video too much on the topic. I've been too busy playing the damn game. But anyways, um, I finally beat the game last night, and I sort of want to put my 2 cents in on the controversy over the ending. And I can understand where a lot of people are coming from, feeling that like the ending didn't do a satisfactory job of like wrapping up all the little elements regarding the choices you make throughout the series. I can appreciate that, but to be completely honest, it doesn't bother me. You see, at least for me personally, the way I see it is a lot of those elements play out throughout the rest of the game. A little bit of a spoiler warning because we are talking about the ending here. There might be some plot elements if you haven't completed the game where you might not see this coming. But I mean, let's be honest. Chances are, if you're familiar with the series, if you've played the first two entries, you know there's a few things you're going to see in this. Obviously, there's the Reapers attacking Earth, you trying to take it back. There's the whole Quarian Geth conflict. That's got to come to a head this time around. Just generally how all the different species out there, are affected by the war and being attacked by the Reapers. I mean, that's all coming to a head, as well as the Genophage. They've been building, that up throughout the entire series. So some of these things are coming, and these elements are dealt with, as well as all the more personal aspects of the little characters' quests, like Miranda and her father, Jacob leaving Cerberus, all that kind of stuff. It's all addressed in here. And I think what a lot of people were looking for in the ending was, sort of that happy, almost, that Hollywood ending where everything's wrapped up in a nice little bow. And just from reading people's opinions, I'm really getting the impression that's what they were kind of hoping for. Where Shepard saves the day, as many people as possible you see survive, and they all live happily ever after. And of course, spoiler warning here, people, there's no real happy ending to this game per se. No matter what you do, the whole galaxy is just dramatically changed. And it's, shit gets fucked up. And for that, I have to applaud BioWare. Because I read an interview with one of the developers talking about how, they didn't want to have any sort of middle ground in this game. How you have to make tough decisions. It's not always going to be happy. In fact, frequently it's going to be quite unhappy. And, there were a few situations in the way things played out where I thought in the previous games I had made, the right decision. The decision I felt was, best for the galaxy, best from a moral standard. And then all of a sudden I see it comes back to bite me in the ass in this game. A big one, was in the conflict with the Geth. In the previous game, when you do a Legion's loyalty mission, you pretty much get to choose whether you want to reprogram or destroy the Geth heretics that had come to see the Reapers as gods. I chose to reprogram them because I'm thinking, hey, even though I'm sort of playing as a renegade, I'm not really big on the whole sort of mass murder thing. So I figured I'll try to save as many of the Geth as possible. And like I said, that comes back to bite you in the ass, because that means there were more Geth to be around when the Reapers pretty much successfully turned the Geth and the entire Geth, not species necessarily, but they purposed the entire Geth population into their favor. So it just made them stronger, and made the battle they had with the Quarian just that much more brutal. But I mean, the endings itself, the ending sequences, I think people were looking for more closure with all the characters and little elements. But, like I said, for the most part, that's handled pretty well throughout the rest of the story. And I think it's only fitting, given the way the whole Mass Effect series has been, that it ends with a choice. I mean, this has always been a series about choices. And rather than just showing you the end effect of all the decisions you've made, you're left with the biggest choice throughout the entire series. And it's pretty freaking intense. I mean, if you're approaching it, you know, a lot of people approach the game like they do, maybe do like their personal playthrough, then they do their Renegade playthrough, they do their Paragon playthrough. In this one, it's not clearly defined. You know, what's the badass way of ending the game? What's the Paragon way of doing it? It's not given a clear answer, because it's not necessarily pleasant no matter what you choose. And I mean, if people are familiar with, you know, sort of the history of science fiction, a big element throughout has always been sort of examining philosophical questions, you know, just using this lens of, you know, futuristic technology, alien species, you know, all these standard things for science fiction. But realistically, it all comes down to more philosophical elements. And I think the big thing you see at the end of this game is the notion of free will. It's, you know, something a lot of stories have covered. I think they do a pretty good job here, where you have the choice of destroying the Reapers, and in that situation, yeah, probably you have the choice to destroy the Reapers, to control the Reapers, or to synthesize synthetic and biological life. Like I said, it's really the question of free will, because for me personally, my primary ending, I went ahead and reloaded the save file to check them all out, but for like my official ending, I guess you can say, is to destroy the Reapers, sort of under the philosophy that everything else is sort of denying or interfering with the concept of free will. Because with the Reapers destroyed, you know, synthetic life, or organic life is free, you know, to choose its own path. It might not necessarily be the most pleasant thing. It might be kind of chaotic, but I felt that was the right path to take. And then there's the question of controlling the Reapers. In that situation, you know, are the Reapers alive? They're sort of a synthetic life form, but they have, as far as you can tell, some measure of free will. And so you're sort of denying that. And also there's the issue of, you know, you're entrusting Shepard with the power of the Reapers, yes, and you feel you can trust Shepard, because you are Shepard, but it's the question of, should anybody have that much power at their disposal? And then there's the whole, the merging of synthetic and organic life. In that situation, that's such a huge concept, a huge idea, something that no one going into this thought would be an option, you know, not just from the player perspective, you know, but from the characters within the game. They're just going there assuming, hey, we're going to destroy the Reapers, everything's going to be golden. But to merge synthetic life, that's, once again, is it right for one human being, even, you know, Shepard, hey, he's awesome and all, but should he have the right to make that decision for all organic life in the galaxy? That's the question. And I said no, he shouldn't. And I just think overall, I mean, yeah, it's not, you know, deeply ingraining the ending with all the little choices, but it's still interesting. It's fascinating. It raises great questions, and much in the way that, you know, classic science fiction has always done. And for that reason, I think the ending's great. Now, of course, people have responded to this controversy. You know, people have gone crazy about the ending. And, you know, actually recently BioWare just made a statement saying, you know, they are considering fan reactions, you know, for possible DLC, you know, actually changing the ending. And if they want to do that, cool. I have enough faith that whatever ideas they come up with, it's going to be good no matter what. And, you know, for better, for worse, I'm willing to, you know, see what they have. What else pops out of their imagination? Because these guys have made incredible games, and I'm more than happy to see what they have to offer. You even if it wasn't necessarily their original intent. And then it finally brings up sort of like the final point is, one thing I think we have to remember as consumers. I mean, yes, we become emotionally involved, in the stories we read, the movies we watch, the games we play, especially when it's done as well as they do it in Mass Effect here. But, I think sometimes we need to step back and remember this is somebody else's project. This is something that, as much as we pour our heart and soul and emotion into it, they're doing it even more. The people who conceived all these things, who put in the code, who write the story, it's their project more than it is ours. And as a consumer of this kind of product, I think we need to keep that in mind. That, yes, we love it. Yes, we're attached to it. But once all is said and done, it's not our story to write. It's amazing that they're able to create a game where we, as the consumer, get to be so involved in the storytelling, in the actual events as they are unfolding. But once all is said and done, it is, it is their story to tell. We're along for the ride. We're affecting the ride. But there's only so much they can do to make it so open, so available for us to manipulate. And as someone who's taken algebra, as you know, the more the more variables you throw into an equation, the harder that equation becomes. And I think to really get the ending I think some people are looking for, where it really brings in all these aspects into consideration. Like I said, that's a very big equation with a shitload of variables. So I don't even know if it's technically possible. Anyways, personally, I enjoy this game immensely. I'll probably do something like a more in-depth, like piece by piece breakdown review in the near future. Now that I've actually beat it, I can start doing other things in my life, right? So I'll probably do that. But with regards to the ending, I felt it was emotionally satisfying. It was interesting. I didn't see it coming, and so often with movies, games nowadays, you see twists coming a mile away. You know how everything's going to end. I gotta say, I was very much pleased that there were twists I didn't see coming this time around. And altogether, it's a great ending to what I think is probably the best franchise of this generation of gaming. Alright, I'll be back with more stuff about Mass Effect 3 sooner or later. Thanks for listening and watching. Have a wonderful day, people. Bye-bye.